We're here in Pilot Point, Texas, at Chad and Susie Chance's place and home of Hoofwatch. We're fixing to finish up the season in Las Vegas with our two judges. We have Gene Leisure and Chad Chance, owner of Hoofwatch. And today we're gonna try and make the toe weight Hackney shoe. It's a bar shoe. The shoe is made out of 3/4 inch round, 10 inches long. It's 4.5 inches wide and it measures 6 1/8 long. You cannot file on the shoe except for the jar cocks. It's fit up with an old school oval hole nail with a City Head 7, and that would be a Mustad. That's what Gene said he put in it. We're gonna give you 1/4 inch round rod for the jar cocks, and the jar cocks can be rasped on until they get onto the shoe, and then you can't rasp on them once they're attached to the shoe. We've got 10 inches of 3/4 inch round. The toe has got a scoop to it, so we're using the round stock. We'll crack the toe, and then we'll just start safing it off and getting the roll on it so that we can get some width. And that we're not going to really flatten the shoe at any given time. We're going to take advantage of drawing it out and using the round stock before we commit to the flat edges on the shoe. All right, we're just gonna crack the toe and try and commit and stay as close to the center as possible. We got no center marks. There's so much drawing that it's just gotta go by the eye. Get that toe in the center, and then just gonna start working that toe, getting some of the flatness. We're starting to get that toe knocked down. We're gonna leave this edge for when we come back and flatten the shoe. That'll give us a nice crisp edge, and it leaves the inside with a bit of a scoop. On the second heat of drawing, I'm just gonna get after it myself and kind of true up my lines and make sure I don't get overzealous with the sweetening up and the necking up. Just kind of keeping sure that this all stays pretty true. Now we'll just do that to the other side. I think you don't want to get too far into the forging process because we're just kind of going off the eye as far as how much it drew out. So we'll do the exact same, what we do to one, we'll do to the other. And then just on the end right here. Perfect. Just to tidy up this branch, and I'll have those both drawn out evenly. Clean up my edge right here going into the branch, and just creating a nice taper. Have to pay attention and keep a nice even toe on there. And when I say that, I don't want to hit just one spot. I want to go around the whole edge. Now I'll set up for my bar. I'm going to run down my edge before I hockey stick it, so I'm just going to come in here. Just kind of getting a nice acute bend. I'm not really trying to add that much mass. I'm just trying to get a nice, even, crisp bend. And get this surface all tidied up going to it. Curling it around. When you turn that, that'll actually go inverted and go forward. Line it up with the branch. I'll not get another look in there, so just before I turn it, I want to make sure all that is nice and crisp. While I got the shoe open, I'm just going to run her down a bit, tighten everything up, come up here and hockey stick again. Get on that edge, and I don't really care about losing material because it's a toe weight, so crisping everything up. You want to have it straight because it goes forward. So you want to have this fairly straight. Come down here. Get that bend nice and acute. And curl it forward. Get out here on the end of the bick. Curl that around. Flatten her up. Now I'll just, and we'll put the bend in it. I got my shape pretty much. Now I'm just gonna put my shape and my bar and get those coming together to where they weld up nice. It's a hammer finish class, so you wanna have that sorted out before you move on. I've got them put together, the branches are together, I have it scarfed and ready to go. Not too much heat. That Iron Mountain doesn't like the heat that much, so just a little bit on the colder side, and you get the tip of that bar forged in. I'm using the side of the horn to clean up the tip of the frog plate. Just kind of making sure everything is seamless. Then you can see I just kind of tighten everything up a little bit and bending this around. Getting that. And that pushes everything forward whenever we bring that together like that. I'll take my set hammer and just kind of clean these lines up. I've got my bar pretty much done. I've drawn out my branches. Now I'm just going to come up here and sort out my toenails. I squared that up with the back of the bar. We have an oval punch. We're just going to grab a piece and mark all 3 nail holes. Just gonna take one last cleanup heat on the inside before I punch them nail holes. It's a fairly straight-sided shoe. Just getting those dropped in there. Come in and flatten it up. Then I'm going to make my safe and go right around to the edge to the heel nail. And this is just kind of making that line look really nice. And Pritchell. The oval hole, you're supposed to be able to lock in the corners and still have a gap to where you could get that nail out with either some pull-offs or, like I say, you jam a crease cutter in there and you could get it to lift that nail up a little bit. The last time I'm going to be able to come in here and have a clean shot at it, so kind of get my shape a little bit nicer. And now I can punch it. Flatten it up. And then establish a nice line that goes around your nail placement. And as if we didn't bestow enough grief on us, now we're going to put some brazed on jar cocks. We have a weld. You're not allowed to rasp on the shoe, but you're allowed to rasp on the jar cocks before you attach them to the shoe. So I'll forge out my jar cocks right now. I'm going to focus on one side and then focus on the same side, and that way I'm pointing that up and getting my height. Just kind of squishing out that one side. You can see. And now when I flatten up, I'm going to flatten up the wide side, and that gives me something to have these set on. Again, remember which side you're... And now I got a flat surface. What you do, come in here. And then now I've got two. I take one extra heat and clean those up, and I've already got the cuts in them. I cut them at 1 inch. Now whenever I forge them, they'll be a little over 1 inch because the ones on the shoe are about 1 1/4 inches, a little over that. So probably the one thing that people do is they don't narrow these up enough and make them nice and petite, and then you have this, it looks like you got a Lincoln log on your branch. And then just find the cut and bust it off. And bust it off. All I got to do is you can stick them in the vise and just put you a nice cut on them. and be done with them. All right, we're wire brushing it really good. Just getting the surface nice and clean. And we'll set these on there. And then take these tongs and just kind of get them right where you want them. Then take the magic red dust. Pour them on there. We've just got a pair of cheap vice grips. All right, you ready? Bring it out with your tongs. I just got a wire brush, 2 of them put together, Chad's invention, and you can hold on to it good, and we're just buffing it really good. Just kind of putting the finishing touches. Ready to cool off and take a look at it.